Let's go to Trevor, who's on the line in Atlanta, Georgia. Trevor, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken, thanks for taking my call.
Sure. How can I help?
Yes, sir. I have a question about whether I should stay in my current job within my company or whether I should look for possible promotions or, move up the corporate ladder within the same company, just maybe a different job at a higher pay, higher grade.
Okay. Tell me why you have this question. What are the circumstances you need to run by me?
Well, here's the deal. I am 27 years old, so I'm fairly young. I don't have a college degree. I started in the company when I was 20 years old, and I've kind of worked my way up the chain. It's a large company, over 80,000 employees. And I always had dreams of, management or becoming a leader because I think it's something that I'm good at, one of my good traits. But I got married and you have a kid and it's life changes. So the biggest concern that I have is right now I'm just an individual contributor. I have a great job. I make great money. I have a great boss, great support, great team. But I have a lot of flexibility in my job. I know what to expect every day. I know how to handle all the situations, but I feel like I'll be letting myself down if I don't try to take the next step up into leadership. And I don't want to look back whenever I'm 50 years old and say, man, I wish I would have taken that risk and jumped on it. But I'm just weighing whether I should take the risk of going out to the unknown and taking a job that I may not be as happy with as I am right now, or whether I should just stay put and enjoy life as it is.
Well, you already answered your question. You think about what you just said. And at the very end, you said, here's where your whole thing ended. Good job. This is what I wrote down. Good job, good leadership above him, good money, but he's bored. That's what I wrote down on my moleskin.
Yep, that's about what it boils down to.
Then you said, so should I take the risk to move up so that I'm not 50 years old and regretting that I never took a shot, or should I just stay where I am? Now, come on, you know the answer to that question. You didn't even have to ask me. So what's the answer?
I guess I should stay where I'm at.
No, you don't believe that for a second. Why'd you say that? You're laughing at your own answer.
I am. You're right. It's just hard to get up I have a lot of confidence, but it's hard to go into the unknown.
Okay, I get it. I get it, but hold on a second. Here's where I need to change your perspective.
Okay.
You think it's risky to move forward. I don't. I don't know where the risk is. Can you tell me what you think the risk is? What is the risk? Where is it?
The risk that I have is, I listen to your show a lot, and I don't want to call you back in 6 months and say, hey, Ken, I took the risk. I took this new job into this unknown, and I don't like my team, or I don't like the structure with my leadership, or I really don't like my job as much as I do today.
Okay,
but
I get that. I have. Okay, great. So glad you said that, and thank you for being straightforward with me, because you weren't straightforward with me a minute ago. That's why you're laughing. Now, Listen, you know why those people call me and say that? They call me
I don't.
Because they didn't do their homework on the front end. So how do we mitigate risk? You're familiar with the insurance industry, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Risk management, you've heard that term. That's a whole industry in and of itself. How do these people who insure people, when they get into risk management and insurance, what do they do before they insure somebody?
They do their research on them.
What?
Background
Wait a
check.
second. We've got ourselves an answer, Trevor. So that's where I'm going when I tell you, why in the world do you think it's so risky? It's not risky if you go do your homework. You go do your homework. You go do your homework. Listen, I upgraded my life insurance policy about 3 years ago. Got in the best shape of my life for it, by the way. But they didn't take my word for it. They sent a nurse to my house at 7 a.m. in the morning, and she put stickers all over my chest and did my heart thing and took blood and, had to pee in a cup, all those things. Why? Because they want to do their homework on me. Is my body functioning the way it needs to? Is it healthy compared to what their standards are so it's less risky? So if I've got a bad heart situation or my blood test comes back negative, then they go, oh, this isn't smart. So if you do your research on the culture of other companies that you're interested in, and you talk to people that work there now or people that have worked there, trust me, they're going to tell you what the culture is really like. This is not difficult information to get. The other thing is do your homework on the role itself. And since when is the job interview, Trevor, just about the company interviewing you? You know, if you go to kencoleman.com right now, I've got 2 Get Hired guides that are absolutely free. One is how to write the right resume, gives you examples of what to do. The other one is how to win the interview. And in that document, I very plainly give people the questions you need to ask when you're in the job interview. So when you get that interview, you realize that you have an opportunity to ask questions, really good questions that are going to give you information. You can tell if you're being snowed. And so I guess what I'm trying to say to you is you're 27. Is it the end of the world if you take a role that you did all the research on, and you did everything you could, but for some reason, something changes and it's not the right role, but you were moving up anyway? Because that's what this next move is. This next move is up, whether it's internal to your existing company or moving up externally with another company to get into a role of leadership. You want to lead people. You want to lead a team. That's as clear as it can be. So what's the big risk if you do that and you still moved up the ladder, but it wasn't the best environment? Guess what? You leave them and go to the right place. You are not an indentured servant, are you?
No, I'm not.
All right. So, my man, it's time for you to start moving up. It's time for you to move up. You answered your own question. All I had to do was talk about what you think is a big, giant risk, which it actually isn't.